Have you ever wondered about the wisdom contained in the ancient texts of the Bible, specifically in Proverbs 3? This biblical book, a treasury of timeless wisdom, was penned to guide us through life's winding paths. Within its verses, Proverbs 3 stands as a father's heartfelt advice to his son, imparting guidance on life and godliness. It's a beacon of wisdom, a signpost for those seeking the path of righteousness. So let us delve into this profound chapter and explore its timeless wisdom. The chapter begins with a powerful command: trust in the Lord with all your heart. Trust, in its purest form, is a fundamental human experience. It's the invisible thread that weaves through our relationships, our decisions, and most importantly, our faith. When we delve into the rich tapestry of Proverbs chapter 3, we find that trust is not just a passive belief, but an active commitment. It's a call to surrender, to yield control, and to place our lives in the hands of the Almighty. The verses stress the importance of trust in God, painting it as the cornerstone of wisdom and faith. It's not a blind leap into the unknown, but rather a conscious decision to acknowledge His omnipotence and goodness. It's a humble acceptance that His ways are higher than ours, His thoughts deeper than we can fathom. This trust is an investment of sorts. It's an investment in God's promises, His character, and His unfailing love. It's the currency of our relationship with Him, the fuel that ignites our faith, and just like any investment, it comes with its share of risks. There's the risk of disappointment, the risk of unanswered prayers, and the risk of unmet expectations. But here's the beauty of it. When we trust in the Lord with all our heart, we're not banking on our understanding or our abilities. We're relying on the one who is infallible, unchangeable, and eternally faithful. Trust, then, forms the bedrock of wisdom according to Proverbs 3. The next command in Proverbs 3 is to honor the Lord with your wealth. This directive is more than a simple charitable request. It's a call to align our material resources with our spiritual convictions. In essence, it's asking us to place God at the center of our financial universe. When we honor God with our wealth, we're recognizing His sovereignty over all aspects of our lives, including our finances. It's an affirmation that everything we have is a gracious gift from God, and thus it's only fitting to use these resources to glorify Him. This concept of honoring God extends beyond mere tithing or giving to the church. It's about making wise and godly decisions with our resources. It's about using our wealth to bless others, to spread love, to advocate for justice, and to advance God's kingdom on earth. But what does it mean for us? It's about setting our priorities straight. It's about valuing God's kingdom more than our earthly possessions. It's about understanding that our true wealth lies not in our bank accounts, but in our relationship with God. Proverbs 3 promises that those who honor God with their wealth will be rewarded with abundance and provision. This doesn't necessarily mean a life of luxury and opulence, but rather a life enriched by God's grace and sufficiency. Hence, honoring God is not just a duty, but a pathway to blessings. The third commandment in Proverbs 3 is, do not despise the Lord's discipline. The concept of discipline often carries a negative connotation, yet, in the context of this proverb, it is presented as something not to be despised, but rather, as something to be embraced. This seemingly contradictory idea may be better understood if we consider discipline as a manifestation of love and care. In the grand design of the universe, we are but children under the tutelage of the greatest teacher of all, God. Much like a parent guiding a child, God's discipline is not intended to harm us, but to shape us into our best versions. This divine discipline is not a punishment. Rather, it is a tool used by God to mold us, to refine our character, and to guide us along the right path. The process of accepting discipline is not always easy. It can be uncomfortable and even painful at times. Yet, the fruit it yields is worth every discomfort. Like a piece of coal under pressure becomes a diamond, we too, under the weight of God's discipline, can transform into something precious and unique. When we accept God's discipline, we open ourselves to growth and maturity. We learn to navigate life's challenges with grace and resilience. We become wiser, stronger, and more compassionate. Accepting God's discipline, then, is integral to our growth and wisdom. In conclusion, Proverbs 3 offers us 3 fundamental commands for a wise and godly life. The first command is to trust in the Lord. This isn't a passive trust, but an active one, calling us to acknowledge God in all our ways. It's a trust that involves yielding control, embracing uncertainty, and surrendering our plans to a higher authority. This trust promises divine guidance, a path straightened by the hand of the Almighty. The second command is to honor the Lord. It's a call to recognize God's sovereignty over everything, including our resources. It's not just about giving back a portion of what we have, it's about acknowledging that everything we have is a gift from God. Honoring the Lord with our wealth is a way of showing gratitude, of acknowledging God's provision, and of aligning our priorities with His. The third command is to accept the Lord's discipline. It's a reminder that God's discipline is an expression of His love, a love that seeks our growth and maturity. Accepting His discipline isn't about enduring punishment, it's about embracing transformation. It's about learning from our mistakes and growing in wisdom and godliness. These three commands, though penned thousands of years ago, are still relevant today. They challenge us to live with trust, honor, and acceptance. They call us to a life that is not self-centered, but God-centered. They encourage us to see beyond our immediate circumstances and to acknowledge the presence and work of God in every aspect of our lives. The wisdom of Proverbs 3 is timeless. It's a wisdom that doesn't promise an easy life, but a meaningful one. It's a wisdom that calls us to a higher standard, to a life of faith, obedience, and godliness. It's a wisdom that challenges us, transforms us, and ultimately, enriches us. May the wisdom of Proverbs 3 guide us in our pursuit of a wise and godly life.